Welcome to the SMO Podcast. My name is Whitney, and today I'll be asking each guest 7 questions in 7 minutes. Here is the first look of our guest that will be speaking live on our stage. Look below to see what you'll say differently. And here is our next episode. Hello, everyone. My name is Whitney, and I'm here with the SMO Podcast. I'm here with today's special guest speaker, Dr. Ann-Louise. Welcome.
Thank you, Whitney. It's great to be here.
Absolutely. For everyone that is watching, can you tell us who you are and what do you do?
Yeah, so my name is Dr. Ann-Louise Lockhart. I'm a pediatric psychologist. I'm a parent coach. I'm an author, and I also have a business called A New Day Pediatric Psychology in San Antonio, Texas.
Amazing. Calling all the way from San Antonio, Texas. Can you tell us a little bit of how you actually started? What kind of led you to take this path seriously?
Yeah, so really my original goal was not to be in the field of psychology. My mom had a children's clothing store. I grew up in the Caribbean in the Virgin Islands, and I worked in the store. It was my first job. I did lots of things with that. And I thought I was going to go in the way of business and maybe doing something with the store. And as I went to college, my plans really changed as I started taking more classes and realizing, wow, there's so many other things out there that I could be doing. And then when I discovered psychology, education, all those different things, I was like, okay, well, maybe go in this direction. But it was a series kind of like mistakes and also discoveries. And my first career was actually in higher education. So I worked as an admissions recruiter, financial aid counselor, career advisor, helping people with resumes, working with Greek life, all those different kinds of things. And I did that for about 6 years. And then when I did some volunteer peer counseling at a church in California, that's when I was like, oh, wait, I could be helping people sooner than just getting into college. I could be helping in other ways. And by that time, I was married, and my husband encouraged me to just go ahead and get my doctorate. And so then I pursued it in clinical psychology. And that's when I was like, wow, this is what I should be doing. So it was really, that's why I always tell the clients and students that I see that it's okay if you don't know what you want to do for the rest of your life, because sometimes things will unfold as you're doing things and you'll realize, like, oh, this is what I want to be doing instead. And your previous experiences can actually inform your current experiences. So yeah, so now I've been doing this work for about 20 years, and I have had my own business for 10.
Mm, that's so good. I think a lot of us that are listening right now, and even myself, can relate in the sense of having that time where we didn't really know what we wanted to do. Because I personally felt that. Like back in college, I was going for social work and I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't even know if I
Yeah.
was in the right profession. So having someone like you, along that path would have probably given me a shortcut at the time. And so I love that you're, speaking from experience and teaching us from, all the things that you've been able to really do and serve. I would love to know because through everything that that you've been through and that you put yourself in, was there ever a moment that you felt like you wanted to quit but didn't?
Oh, absolutely. When I moved to San Antonio for my psychology internship with the military as a civilian, I finished my first year. I loved it. I was working with the service members. I was working with their kids in the hospital setting. And then I got into my pediatric psych fellowship. And after I finished, I had to take my psychology licensing exam. You can't be a psychologist unless you get licensed. So I was preparing, I was getting ready, I took it and I failed. And it's a very high failure rate. And so it's like, well, people are like, well, lots of people fail. But I'm like, yeah, but how embarrassing is this? And I felt like, well, what am I supposed to do now? And they're like, well, you could take it again, but I had to wait 6 months to take it. And I really felt like, okay, well, maybe I could just like get a job at like Old Navy or something. Like I just felt like, well, screw this. I put all this work and effort, and then I fail the thing that keeps me from doing the thing that I want to do.
Mm,
Um, and it felt like a dramatic reaction, but it was because of all the things I had gone through in my life, all the setbacks I'd gone through. I had to fight for things and push through things and always seeking and finding. And I felt like, okay, I was doing all the things that I was supposed to. And one of the people I was doing my internship with, she's one of those individuals who didn't really care about the work she was doing. She barely even studied and she passed like so easily. And I was like, really? this girl gets to pass and she don't even care about her patients. And so it just felt very like, oh, like a punch in your gut and you forget you. Um, but I finally got over myself, buckled down, figured out how to study better because I'm very good with essays, but terrible with multiple choice. So I had to figure that out. And I took it and I passed. And the cool thing about that experience, though, was once because I got hired with the hospital, was we're able to work as a training director, really moved up as acting chief and then assistant chief. And every time they had a resident who was struggling to pass their exam or failed, they would always be like, "Oh, go to Dr. Lockhart because she failed too. She can help you through it." And it was really cool for me to be able to help and guide students through that process. And so though it was that time when I wanted to give up, it actually turned into a time of learning, like character building and perseverance, and what happens when you persist. What happens when you don't stop right before you get to the place that can actually bring you into a better place. And all the things I would have missed out on had I given up. And so yeah, definitely failing that test was very discouraging in a way. I was like, okay, just forget this. Let me just go into retail. And I'm glad I didn't.
This is so good because honestly, again, so relatable. I think, most of us have been through a life-changing experience or even just a time where we failed something that maybe, like you said, kept us from doing the thing that we wanted to do or the thing
Mhm.
that we're called to do. And I think that's so important also to raise the question of like, getting past that so you can walk into what you're called to do. And you raised all of that. And I feel like what we have here is really just diving into, again, just that personal experience that you bring, but also allowing us to open up our minds. I'd love to know because I think you can definitely, answer this well and with your own experience, but was there a mindset shift that changed everything for you?
Yeah, a big part of it was a big part of it was foundationally when I was growing up on the island of St. Croix, my senior year, 3 weeks into my senior year of high school, we got hit by a Category 5 hurricane. It
Mm,
destroyed my family business. It ripped apart my home. We were homeless. I got dengue fever by being bit by infected mosquitoes. Like it was miserable. It was like miserable, miserable. And I remember telling my mom, like, I can't live like this. Like, this is horrible. People are looting. I've got dengue. Our hospitals are out of commission. Like, this is my senior year. We need to leave the island. And she's like, we don't run from our problems. And I was like, what? Well, this is the time you should run from problems. And and I'm glad I didn't because my senior year, I was not doing well in high school. And my senior year, I decided if I need to get the heck off this island, I have to buckle down. And so then
mm,
I did really great, straight A's, all these honor roll stuff, and got into the college of my choice, wrote a great essay. And so that mindset really stuck with me when this happened because my mentors were telling me, like, things are going to get hard and you have to figure out where you went wrong or where you could think, how you could think differently. And my mindset shift at that time was, okay, how am I thinking about this test? How am I thinking about being a psychologist? And I realized that a lot of my identity started to be wrapped up into psychologist, Dr. Ann-Louise Lockhart, psychologist. And everything I was doing was about being a psychologist. And
mm,
my whole identity was like on this success of this title. And and so then I'm like, I started thinking, well, then what happens if it's taken away? What happens if I lose it, like not being able to get license, or if I lose the job, which then end up happening 10 years later, I had to leave my job because of workplace discrimination and bullying. And so I'm like I cannot wrap myself up in a job or a title or a degree, because then what happens if I lose that? And it really helped me to see that I have to have more to myself than just the title and just the accolades, just the going viral, just any of that stuff. That's not important because it can all fall away. And so that mindset shift was a big one for me, that I am more than my title. I am more than my degree. I am more than my position. I have a lot more to myself. I'm a wife. I've been married 27 years. That is a huge success. I have two teenagers. That's a huge success in terms of my relationship with them, breaking cycles. And so that to me is like, it's really more about than just your title. And that mindset shift has been huge. And that's why I really maintain that harmony and work-life balance for myself. Because I'm more than just a business owner, an author, a psychologist. I'm many other things besides that too.
Absolutely. Dr. Ann-Louise, you bring amazing insights. Listening, and I know that those are listening are taking notes. And if you're not, make sure you go back because this one is good. I would love to get into more of your work and to understand the transformation and the results that you're really bringing for the people that you serve right now, because I feel like we're getting a little bit of a sneak peek into that right now. Could
Yeah.
you share a little bit of that transformation?
Yeah, the a big part of what I do, I was doing therapy with little kids. I started out doing play therapy with little kids, and I've really transitioned more into therapy with teenagers through adults. But where my work really started shifting was when I realized I need to do more focused parent coaching because I saw that I always believed in bringing parents into the therapy session when I saw kids and teens, always. But the change was still very minimal regarding this shift and the changes and whatever the kid or the teen was going through. And when I started doing parent coaching, a lot of that was exactly that is shifting your mindset about parenting, about your kid, that you say these are the goals that you have, but those are all your kids. Like you can't make your child change and think and behave differently. I mean, you could try to punish your way through it, but that's not leading to any real meaningful shift. And so what really shifted my work and the work that I do with parents is helping them change their mindset about parenting because sometimes it can feel like a big letdown, a big disappointment. This is not what I expected. This is not the parent that I wanted to be. I wanted to be a different kind of parent than my parents were. And that has been huge because sometimes the behavior of the kid doesn't exactly make these huge leaps and bounds, but the parent's mindset does. And so things do improve from their perspective because they're seeing their kid through a different lens. And so I really strongly believe in that because I think your mindset is the thing that changes how you view your life and you view other people and you view your circumstances. Because then you don't feel sorry for yourself and you're not blaming yourself all the time. You're seeing it through a different lens.
That's so good. That's so good because I feel like you're also making, families seen, not just, the individual, but the entire family that you're helping. And I think a lot of your work stems from like helping people be seen and heard. Like,
Yeah.
what does that mean to you personally?
Well, it's helping for teenagers. Many of them complain, and rightfully so, that they are misunderstood by their parents, their teachers, by grown-ups, that you don't get me. I don't feel understood. I don't feel seen. That's where a lot of struggles in teenage years, all through college, young adulthood come in, that I don't feel truly seen. I don't feel like people really know me. And I think that's why no, I know that's why a lot of teenagers get lost in social media and their on-screen persona because they can be whoever they want to be there and people believe them. That's who they're showing. And I see the same thing with parents too. It's like it's this big mindset, this big idea that who am I? And am I having to pretend that I'm a great parent and tell people this story that my kid is always behaving great and I know exactly what I'm doing and I don't doubt myself because I see a lot of these parents and they're online or they're with their friends and family and they're showing this one persona and then they come to me and it's like, wow, I never would have known that you're struggling because they're trying to pretend and they're living these separate lives. And because there's so much shame behind that, that if you're struggling, that means you're doing something wrong. Well, no, you're struggling because you're human and humans struggle and it's not always going to go right. Just because I'm a parent coach and I'm a psychologist doesn't mean my kids are always doing the right thing or I'm always doing the right thing. I'm still human. And so I think we have to give ourselves some grace and some compassion for others as well too, in the fact that we're all trying our best and we're all doing our best.
Mm, that's so good. Would you say now being in the profession that you are and helping the families that you help that, there is a barrier that is often common in the work that you do that you helped them break in order to become?
Yeah, a big barrier is their past. So
Mm,
whether they were raised in a certain culture or generational mindset or familial mindset or unhealthy family patterns, that is the biggest one. So parents who say, well, this is how we did it, or this is, my parents dismissed my depression, or over punishing, over parenting was the way to go, whatever it is. But a big one is breaking and interrupting those unhealthy family generational cycles. And that's been the biggest one. A lot of parents resist that. They push a lot of that stuff because, well, I don't want to tell my parents, or I don't want to give the impression that I'm saying my parents were horrible or that how I was raised was terrible. It's like, no, you're not saying that. What you're saying is that I want better for myself. I want better for my kids. And it doesn't mean that you're disgracing and dishonoring your culture, your family, because we know better. So we're doing better. I have conversations with my mom about that all the time. Like, she's like, after I wrote my book, she's like, I wish I had that book when I was parenting you because I was not the easiest teen to raise. And it's that same kind of idea. She didn't know because that information wasn't available during that time. Now it is.
Mm, yeah. So now that you're, creating this transformation, you're walking in your calling, you've helped all these families. What is the bigger goal for you? Where are you going next? And what is, what can we expect moving forward?
What I think is going to be important is allowing this message to go out to more individuals, more people, so that they hear the truth that mindset shift and behavior change is possible and that they don't have to keep doing what they're doing. They can do things differently, just like we can eat differently and exercise differently and do things differently, breaking cycles. It's not too late and it is possible. And so my goal really is to get the message that I believe that connection, relationship, and transformation is truly possible, especially in the parent-teen relationship, uh, for that to get out to more ears and for more people to hear that and to break free, because a lot of people still don't know that this is what can be their reality.
Mm, I love that. You're teaching from practical strategies that we can apply in multiple areas of our lives. I think that this is definitely one of those episodes that we have to go back to and take notes and to really allow the information to process, right? Because there's so much here. Dr. Ann-Louise, how could we connect with you further and pick your brain?
Yeah, so they can find me most active on Instagram at dr.annlouise.lockhart. Also, my website at drannlouiselockhart.com or a newdaysa.com. That's my practice. And those are probably the best ways. And people can reach out for parent coaching, for life coaching, and also tap into my resources, including the book Love the Teen You Have that I published last year.
Amazing, amazing. Well, make sure you guys get connected with Dr. Ann-Louise. There's so much here, and I'm excited to just continue to see how you serve in the marketplace in all of the ways. We are so blessed to have you here today, and hopefully see you on one of our stages,
Thanks, Whitney. Thanks for having me.
of course.